¿Qué es lo que mi gente? So today I wanted to be talking about a couple things dealing with when you should actually shave for men or whatever. A lot of guys know for the most part, but then people still struggle with certain things like not knowing when to shave like again. So like say for instance, if you're a guy, you go to the barbershop and you pretty much get a shape up. It's like it's a regular shape up, nothing really special is going on. I mean maybe something is special that's going on, but you're getting a shape up and you how can I even say like you got your shape up and now you good, you out and about doing whatever you got to do, and then like maybe I would say for some guys or whatever, I guess it all depends on your ethnicity, because some people's hair grow faster than others or whatever, depending on their ethnicity or their genes. Depending on that, you can basically say like your hair is either gonna grow back like to a beard like this in maybe 2 weeks, or maybe it'll be like 3 weeks before you get your hair to be like this full. Like this is not like super long, but it is like more than I like it to be. So with that, a lot of times guys don't know when to go back to get another shape up. And then the reason why I'm even mentioning this in the first place is because people suffer from ingrowns. Now, I don't know if I really believe in the whole ingrown prone skin, but because there's just so many different things that I think you can do in order to kind of prevent yourself from having so many ingrowns versus maybe one popping up here and there. You can't really, when you're dealing with like a razor, because that's usually why a person would get an ingrown. When you're dealing with a razor, although you don't feel it at the moment, there's little things that's happening that can possibly cause an ingrown. So I feel like I want to just, come out and tell people my process and how I go about getting shape ups and stuff like that, because sometimes people are like, oh, they're under the impression that being as though I model, I have to get a shape up all the time, and it's not exactly the case. Basically, yeah, you want to have like I've done photo shoots and stuff like that without a shape up, and it's simply because I feel like the way my hair grows in naturally is not that bad. It's just my own personal preference. So I don't particularly like a lot of hair on my face, although I grow so much of it, and people are like, oh, I would die for that kind of a beard or whatever the case is. But for me, I'm not that particular about having that much hair on my face, at least not that much hair on my face that's not shaped up and has like a little bit of a structure to it, not just shabby kind of all over the place hair. Because once your hair gets a certain length on your face, it just really starts doing whatever it wants to do. So in my case, I try to make it to where it's like it's not growing, it's not so much on my face to where it's overbearing for me, because my fellas out there that have no problem growing hair on their face at all, but you want to keep it neat. That moment when you start getting that hair that's touching your lip, and like every time you talk you're just feeling it, it's super annoying. And some people, they can deal with that, they don't care about it, they embrace it. And then you have those others that's like, I really don't want to, it's bad enough I'm talking a lot, I don't want to keep feeling my mustache and beard hair just invading my lips. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to share with you guys my process as far as how I go about getting shape ups and how frequently I would get one, etc. So with that being said, estoy aquí con otro video. Vamos a comenzar. So, starting off, you basically, well, I'm basically giving you guys my personal process as far as how I do this whole shape ups thing versus when I'm supposed to get another shape up. But before I go into when I'm supposed to get another shape up, when you get a shape up, a lot of times people, they don't go home and treat their face. You know, like whatever the barber does or whatever, they're like, oh, okay, so this is it. I don't have to do anything else. I mean, of course, you have those people that they go home, they at a minimum they'll like take a rag and put it over their face or something like that just to get the excess hair off of their face. So if they're going out, they don't just have like loose hairs just all over the place. So that's that. But I feel like it's so much more that you should be doing when you are trying to, well, once you get from the barber and you're home, or you should be trying to get home or something like that, or the nearest place where you can actually take care of these things and actually like thoroughly wash your face. Now, every barber's process is different because you have barbers that'll do a lot of stuff to your face while you're in the barbershop. Like they'll, put like either Noxzema on or some type of facial cleanser so that they can start shaving you down and different things of that nature. Everybody has a different process. However, once that razor is being incorporated in that shape up, I feel like you should go home still and literally wash your face. Something not, you don't have to do like anything really harsh. I always feel like after something major has been done to the face, you should try to keep it as minimal as possible, as far as, and as mild as possible as far as like what you're cleaning your face with after that, especially literally minutes after your barber sends you on your way. I feel like there should be some type of just a nice gentle cleanser, and then after the gentle cleanser, you're not exfoliating, but you're like using the pads of your fingers and you're trying to like get in all the areas where that razor touched, and then you have to go and moisturize your skin because like I just said, your skin just went through something and you don't want to not moisturize. You don't want to neglect things about your face just because you just got from the barber. And I noticed that a lot of people actually do that. They're like, oh, I just got all this stuff done. I just got full service, so I don't need to go home and do anything in addition to it. See, now this is why you're getting ingrowns probably. I feel like they occur in different scenarios, but if it's something that you can actually control, then I think that you should actually jump on that and try to prevent as much as you possibly can, especially when you're getting them. And just to continue in from what I was saying is I basically go home, I moisturize, and then I seal my skin with a nice oil. It can be like vitamin E oil, it could be jojoba oil, it can be just a nice gentle oil, nothing too strong, nothing potent, nothing you have to have a carrier oil for. Just something super smooth, and even you can even add like maybe a little bit of a mint to whatever oil you're gonna use for your face to seal in the moisture so that it'll have like a cooling sensation. So I'll do that, and then I notice that I'll either have no ingrowns or I'll have very minimal ingrowns, like maybe one or two will pop up some random place on my like under the neck or something like that, where it's usually where your skin is most sensitive that it'll occur. And I'm okay with that, because then it's kind of like, okay, let's just put a little something on, let's treat it, because I don't want it to, while it's healing, to start healing and then it gets dark on you, and then now whenever it's clean under here and there's no hair hiding anything, you have all of these little spots that just stand out on your neck or on your face somewhere, depending on where your ingrowns actually occur. Now, for people who like me, I am chocolate. Sexual chocolate. Nah. I am chocolate. So if I get some type of a blemish or something like that, although they will show up on me because I'm not like blue black, but not to make fun of anybody who is. It's just I'm not that. So at the end of the day, there is still a chance that you may see a blemish or something like that show up on my skin, and that it's darker than my actual complexion. So being as though I'm not that, dark, it'll still show up, but it'll show up less than someone per se that is light skin, bright skin, yellow, like who has that higher hue to their complexion. When they get dark marks, it shows up, and then it's so like unsightly. And I know that people don't like to see things like that, and it's even for women, because some women, they tweeze, they do different things, and then you're seeing different blemishes show up on your face that you don't want there. And then unfortunately, being as though the skin is the slowest thing that heals on our body, as far as like, not to heal because it'll close up, so we won't bleed out, but I'm saying like to look normal again, to be even as far as your skin tone goes, and etc. So when you have a person who is light skinned, that's going to show up. So if you can prevent, you can do certain things to prevent, because there's no 100% anything that's going to tell you, or that's going to do anything to your skin that's going to have it like 1 2 3, this is cured, or this is back to normal. Not with skin. Not with skin, not with hair, not with a lot of things that deals with the human body, because we don't have it like that. But my point is, if you can do something that can kind of minimize the type of damage that your skin or something can go through, do it. This is why I'm making this video, because it's kind of like, okay, I have people that come up to me and they're like, oh, your skin is so clear, your skin is so this and so that, and they don't really know the process. They don't really see, like, well, now they'll see, because I'm on YouTube, so you'll see different things that I'm doing, and it's like, oh, so that's how he does that, or that's how they'll start figuring things out. And if they don't figure it out, it's kind of like, okay. But I digress. My point is, try to do things that are preventive of certain problems that you have, because sometimes I feel like things are happening to people, and either they're too prideful to ask because they don't want, like, it's when it comes to males, my fellas, it's like when it comes to asking about something that's gonna help with something cosmetic wise, they just don't want to ask. They don't want people to know that they care that much about their skin, or about their hair or something like that, so they won't ask, and they just look crazy out here. Like, it's kind of like you want to say something, or you want to give like advice, but you don't want people to feel like you're shading them, because it's kind of like, oh, what you telling me this for? And it's kind of like, well, we know why I'm telling you. However, I'm trying to be nice about it, and I'm trying to be, like, okay, maybe you could do this, or maybe you could do that, and kind of help yourself, but some people, or most people, I would say, they would take certain things dealing with their parents very sensitively, as if you're trying to come at them in some kind of way, and you're just trying to help. But obviously, if your help is not asked of you, then of course the person's going to feel some type of way, like, I didn't tell you I needed help with this. And it's kind of like, well, sometimes, well, I know the struggle of males when it comes to even mentioning certain things like that. See, because a person, don't let people fool you. A person that get all the way offended about something you just said in reference to a flaw of theirs, but then go right home and do exactly what you just gave them advice on. Because pride is a horrible, disgusting thing. Pride and ego, disgusting. Don't have both of them together. You can have some pride. There's a little bit of ego there, whatever, but don't combine them two, because those two, it'll have you out here fighting. Like, I'm just trying to give you a little bit of advice, or whatever the case is, because I like to use I can't say my expertise, but I like to use my experience, because I experience a lot of different things, and I try to share it when I've made some sort of a breakthrough. And you tell somebody something, and they're just kind of like, what? or whatever, and they get all like in your face, or they want to like feel like they need to attack back because you saying something about like, oh well, maybe you could do this for that, or maybe you could do that for that. Now in my case, people do ask me. I don't just come out of nowhere and say, oh wow, you should probably do this and that, and then it's kind of like, whoa. Wow, okay. But people usually do come up to me and ask me or whatever because they're looking at my skin and they're like, dang, your skin is kind of like on a real, like really clear or whatever. And then the fact that I'm dark skinned and people don't, I guess, usually see people of my complexion with such clear skin, but and I guess that's what's gearing them to ask me, like, how do you, like, what do you use for your skin, or what do you do this, why do you do that, or whatever, like, whatever their question is. I'm usually trying to give them some sort of I'm trying to catch like whatever I'm seeing in the air right now. I'm usually trying to give them some type of advice on it or whatever. People only take partial advice, so for those who are in my position that like give advice to people and then you're like, you see them and it's kind of like, so what did you take the advice that I gave you? No? Okay, I mean, but it's cool. You can do it whenever you feel like doing it. Because I'll see people like at a different time, and they like, you know what, I'm gonna try. I promise I'm gonna do it. Just trust me. And it's kind of like, well, it's not really for me. I don't have that problem. So it's like, if you do it now, if you don't, if you never do it, it doesn't affect me in any kind of way. Like, I'm not offended or whatever. The information was here. I put it over there. And you just decided not to use it. I mean, what? I'm supposed to be upset? It doesn't affect my skin. So, I mean, you know, it's whatever. Like, I'm not forcing this information on you. But I digress. My point is, people are like very, very shy or very, very, they don't want to really admit to certain things that they find as like a flaw or something that they just don't like about themselves or whatever when it comes to their overall appearance or whatever. And it doesn't even have to be anything dealing with your face in particular. It could be other things on your body. Like, some people, they take their shirt off, they have chest acne. Some people, they take their shirt off, they have back knee, and it's a lot that they don't feel like they can do about it, or they don't want to ask anyone about how they can fix that or whatever the case is. And most people, I can say, and in my own personal experience, people are super appreciative, especially when they've actually been looking for something to help them with whatever problem that they're having with their skin or something like that. And I have certain go-to things that I like to tell people, like, oh, you got to use this for that, or you have to use that for this. And they're like, oh wow, I didn't even know I could use that. And it's kind of like, yeah, just have to be consistent, because people, they use things and they think that a week later they're supposed to see some real significant results. And it's kind of like, patience is really a key to a lot of the success and why people's skin and hair look the way that it looks. You can't be like, okay, been using this for a week, and I want my money back. Look, I don't have your money. Whatever you spent your money on to try to take advice from me, my disclaimers are, it's not always going to work for you 100%, because everybody is different. However, when people are not being consistent, you don't know if it would have worked for you or not. So don't blame me for that, because I'm not going to take blame. I'm going to be looking at you like you need to find somewhere to be. But I digress again. I just be like, they get me riled up sometimes. They get me like, I'm like, but I'm cool. But yeah, in all seriousness, I think that people should wait, because my overall point was basically wait until your hair grows out a certain amount on your face when it comes to getting your next shape up and different things like that, because your skin needs time to actually heal from the first cut. Literally cut, because if a person is using clippers or a razor, the clippers cutting you, the razor is cutting you. It's not like, oh, it's clippers, so it's not really, no, just because you don't feel it doesn't mean that you're not getting like little micro cuts on your face or on your skin in some type of way. This is why when they put the alcohol, you feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, alcohol. Like that's why, because you're still getting cut. It's been plenty of times where I've gotten just a shape up and only clippers we use, no razor or anything. You put the alcohol, yeah, I felt that. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is make sure you're cleaning your face, because all of the particles that go inside of those little wounds that we don't see after getting a cut, those things can get infected. And a small part of an ingrown is slightly it's like inflammation, a little bit of an infection, but not enough for you to kind of like feel like, oh, I gotta go to the hospital or something. But it's like it's like dirt in different things, dirt and in like small pieces of hair is getting inside of those wounds, and then what's happening is your skin is trying to heal over it, or it's trying to eject it in some type of way so that it'll be out of your system. But when it's like a very, very small layer of skin that covers over the hair that's trying to come out. Oh shoot. Shoot, I just realized I'm flipping people off right now. I'm sorry. I can't. If I couldn't see myself in the camera, I would have had absolutely no idea what I was doing, and YouTube probably would have been like, oh wow, this is not appropriate. That is not okay. But yeah, besides me flipping people off, yeah, I feel like I just lost wherever I was at. I was going with that because that was just so like, I'm looking at my hand like, no, what are you doing? Basically, you want to make sure you clean your skin or whatever, very mildly, because you don't want to cause any further inflammation or whatever, because you just got cut. And you don't want to just start doing all kind of craziness, because what happens is, not speaking from experience, but one of my godbrothers kind of went right after a shape up and started like extreme exfoliating or something like that, and then noticed that over a few days he started seeing, like, it looked like his skin was burned, and that was due to the vigorousness and whatever he was doing to like clean his skin after a shape up. And it was like, I think in his, like, on his face in some type of way, like here or whatever. I'm not 100% sure. Like I don't remember 100% where the burn occurred, but it was there. And he said he thinks it was because of him just getting a shape up and then going in and exfoliating so deeply the way he did right after. So he has to wait a day or two or whatever before he can do anything like exfoliating, pretty much. Like, you don't want to exfoliate your skin after something like that. Although it seems like it's a good idea, I don't really think that it is. And it may work for some people. Maybe it may be people out there that it actually works for. But then there you have the other half, or the other percentage of people where that is not a good idea. And being as though that type of experience happened to one of my godbrothers, I wouldn't be doing that, just because I feel like the chances are higher than not of it happening to me, as far as my skin getting burned. And then when you get that burn, your skin is healing dark. It's not healing in, well, maybe for someone else it will heal differently, but it's healing dark. So you have like this dark mark on your face that's not hair. And you got to deal with that until it actually heals. And it's all due to the fact that you overdid something right after a shape up. So please don't take what I'm saying so literal to the point to where you're in there and you're just scrubbing like, Dale said I had to do this, and it's like, you're gonna damage your skin. And you should be being way more gentle. And then like maybe the next day, you can kind of exfoliate some more, just so that you can kind of reassure that the ingrowns won't be as bad as they possibly could be, due to the fact of just doing nothing versus trying to give yourself like a little cleanser or whatever the case is, and then using like a toner, and then moisturize, and then seal that moisture in to your face, so that you're literally taking care of things. You're not just doing all kind of stuff, and then you don't put anything on there, you're looking dry, and you're like, oh, my bed looks dry on the inside, or my face or my skin is dry and it's like I'm just gonna put oil on it as if that's a moisturizer. Oil is not a moisturizer. I have to stress that to people because too many people come to me even after seeing my videos and they're like, oh, I put oil on, and I'm like, well, what did you put on before that? Oh, it's just oil. It's like, no. You can't do that. You know, you have to put moisturizer first, like a lotion or something like that, and then you go over that so that you can retain as much moisture throughout a day as you possibly can. Now, obviously, you have some people who don't have facial hair or who don't have makeup on or whatever the case is that can reapply moisturizer throughout the day, which is fantastic. I wish I could do that, but I can't, and I refuse because it's just to try to get all that work through just hair, whatever like that, on a second time of the day. It's like, no, maybe at night when I'm going to bed, if I leave some in there, whatever, I don't care. But to be doing that in the middle of the day, and then it's kind of like I don't have the tools that I would need to, like, yeah, it's a lot, and I don't want to do it. Some people can do it, some people will do it. Some people may try it to see if it works for them and then realize that they got a Daleamor situation going on and decide not to do that again. But yeah, so you want to not just use oil, you want to use moisturizer too, then the oil, and then you'll notice that your skin is less itchy. You'll notice that your skin is way more hydrated throughout the day, and at times where it would have gotten dry much quicker, you're noticing like, oh shoot, like I'm really like this, my day is almost over and I haven't even reapplied anything yet, because that oil plays a big part. You can't just put lotion and then think the lotion got oil in it because it says it's what is it, olive oil or something like that. It's kind of like that lotion was made with that oil in it. Like, it's not supposed, the oil is supposed to aid the lotion or whatever. It's not sealing anything. You know, you got to put it on, then add oil after that so that now it's sealing something or whatever, you know. But whatever, people, they have their own process, trial and error. I'm just here to help. But yeah, so that's my point. That's the point that I wanted to make today, as far as like when you should cut your hair again, as far as doing shape ups, and what you should be doing over the course of that shape up versus right after your shape up, and then when you're getting another one. Because when you're getting another one, or whatever the case is, you don't want there to be inflammation still on your face because you have ingrowns. You didn't give anything a chance to grow back in, because some people are like, oh, I like to stay fresh, but then you have all the, like, I have seen people with the most unsightly looking skin near their beard hair, like under here. It looked like somebody threw a bomb in there and closed the door. Like, that's just my perception of it. Like, in my opinion, I feel like somebody just threw a grenade in somewhere and just closed the doors. Boom, and then you open like,
okay, that's what that did.
Like that's what it looks like underneath some people's necks. And then like in the back of the head or whatever, because I know that in some point in time in your life, depending on how old you are, obviously, but at some point in time in your life, you've seen the back of somebody's head and it's kind of like, what exactly is happening right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we on the moon? Or, you know, like, it's just, those are just my descriptions or my examples of what it looks like. You know, like craters, like it's just a lot going on back there. And then at some point in time, I just feel like it's not much that you can do after it gets like that. And that's a nightmare for me. Like, for me to feel like I have something on my body that I cannot control or cannot like alter or fix or whatever the case is, nightmare. That's a nightmare. But yeah, unfortunately, some people are like that. It's not. I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying that, you know, you don't want to get to that point to where now this is your situation, and it's nothing that you can do about it, or it's very minimal things that you can do about it, and then it looks like it hurts. You know, like if I want to be completely honest, and when I see certain things like that underneath people's necks and behind and on the back of their neck, where their hairline is, or like a little above that, because some people, they get tapers, whatever, it looks like it hurts. Like if somebody was to touch that, it's like, yeah, I don't want that for me. Like I don't want that for you. That's why I'm making this video, so that you can prevent things like that, because it's not cute and it's not it can't be healthy. It can't be something that, you know, it's like, oh, this is nothing. You know, like, nah, I don't, it looks like it turns into something. You know what I'm saying? If not, if it hasn't already. But that is that is the video for today, guys. I hope that this was super helpful for people who kind of have they're kind of like this when it comes to like when I should get my neck shape up, when I should do this, when I should do that, how I should go about doing it. Because some people, they could, you know, a lot of people, they could say like, oh, don't do it then, and then it's kind of like, well, why? You know, people need explanations for things so they can understand how they need to go about it. And then who knows, you might even find your own way of preventing a lot of these things that's going on. But when you do, I want you to put that in the comments down below so that you can tell Dale, and Dale can start using that method too, or at least try it to see if it works for me. And then it's kind of like, okay, cool, great. So with that being said, I want you guys to live life, and I will see you in the next video.